No, I was gonna say I was wondering if I could give a shout out to this is another wrestling podcast of my friend. He recently passed away two
Okay.
weeks ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard of the Blade. I forgot the name of the podcast here, but well, it's called the Blaze, the Blaze and Melfonsky podcast, wrestling podcast.
Hmm.
And my buddy Johnny Magdaleno, Johnny, call him Johnny Blaze, Johnny Catfish. He goes by all sorts of damn nicknames, all sorts of gimmicks. But he's been doing his wrestling podcast since 2015. This past February 28th, he passed away. And yeah, so they had like a little tribute show, a tribute podcast to him yesterday. So just it's kind of tough right now,
Yeah, you
just
know
a
what,
lot
man?
of
You saying that? I
lot of
know I
tra-
talked to you. Like last week. Honestly,
Yeah.
bro, just for all of us, just a shout out to everybody that's had a rough time through all this, because it seems like lately it's
Definitely.
been, although a new era is definitely on the horizon. It's been tough the last couple
Yeah.
of weeks with the amount of people that I've seen posts that have lost people recently, or somebody they
Yeah,
know. So shout
definitely.
out to huge respect to everybody. May everybody rest in peace, and everybody that's here remain healthy.
Yeah,
And so as we keep
Yeah,
chugging along on
definitely.
this wild ride that we call life, but So
Yeah,
anyway, so all right, man, cool,
definitely.
very cool. Shout out. So it's been a while, gentlemen. We haven't done this for a bit because we basically cut WWE out. Is really what is kind of happening.
What's the point?
Nobody's watching it, so it's like there's not a whole lot to talk about because we're gonna get anything big like we were back then. But as we're here, AEW Revolution happened yesterday, so I'm ready to get into it because oh man, where do you start? We start wherever you want. We just start with the obvious and just kind of work backwards from there.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm talking to my wife. Sorry, I have to do a little editing right
all
there.
good.
Yeah, okay, we can totally start with the obvious and just kind of work backwards from there. So the main event. Everybody wants to talk about the main event. I am sure, and I was a little late to it. I watched a little bit later than everybody else. So I got to it. So I know everybody I saw you guys post in our group chat, and then I was like, man, I got to get to I was about I don't know.
I felt bad
Hour
when
and a
we
half
started doing
behind.
that because I was like, oh
I
my
don't care.
God, he hasn't seen.
It doesn't bug me. It doesn't bug me. I'm not like that at all with spoilers. So I saw because Mike actually texted me this morning and he was like, dude, have you watched it yet? And I was like, no, I'm in the middle of it right now. And he's like, oh, I want to get your thoughts. And so that's when I'm doing stuff. So,
Dude.
Whoever wants to start, whoever wants to
well,
lead off.
I will. Okay, so that was not the way it was planned, right? There was no
I don't
way
think it was.
that's the way that was supposed to go.
No.
So
Tony Khan tried to play it off like it was the way it was planned, but there's no fucking way. Especially the worst part of the whole thing. I think I told you guys this morning when we were talking. Is Eddie Kingston selling like he was dead? You know what I mean? It's like at that point you got to call an audible, and he should have got up and they should have played it off like Kenny Omega fucked up the whole construction of the thing, but that's not what they did. So it looks so much
did you
worse.
guys see the exclusive video after that they showed on? I think it was on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, what was he awake? What was he just knocked out? What was this? Because when John Moxley was talking into the camera, Eddie Kingston was right behind him. It looked like he was awake. So okay, so I mean, not that it matters.
Okay,
but...
so there's no way it could have. Okay, I think they're going to play it off now like that was supposed to happen. And in fact, I did hear that they're going to turn that into a storyline, like that's what was supposed to happen. But there's no way. And Mike's right. The way Eddie Kingston came down and looking at stuff, and you could tell he kept looking back at the timer to see when it was, looking for his cue. That's what he was doing, dude. And then he's like, oh, it's there. So he just dives on top of John, and then the sparklers go off. I mean, it looked like? It looked like Gilbert's entrance, bro. Remember Gilbert when Gilbert would come out with the little sparklers? That's what it looked like. So I was like, what is
That's
this?
exactly what I said too.
Looking at that, and then it was like, there's no way that was supposed to go. What happened? And then I think I typed this, and I know Mike was kind of the one responding, But I said, man, can you imagine what Eddie Kingston's saying to Mox right there when he's on top of him? Like, fuck, dude, what do we do now? Like, what do we say? And Mox just there like, bro, I don't know, just sell it. Like, just sell it. so I was like,
man.
I'm watching it. I'm looking at Chris, and I'm like, okay, this is like, they've been hyping this up, death match, so this thing's gonna explode. Something should happen, something cool, and then that happens, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about it? I'm like, you know what? All week I've been looking forward for this match.
Well, the match itself was pretty good. The match itself was pretty good.
Yeah, no, the match was pretty good. This was actually, according to my history, this is actually maybe the first death match probably since 2007 in North America, because I could be wrong.
What
Maybe
was their first match? Because their last one ended with Kenny Omega laying in a bed of barbed wire. What was that?
No.
That was a death match.
Yeah, but you know what? I keep forgetting Combat Zone Wrestling because they do a lot of death matches.
Well, Lucha Underground did a lot of death matches too. But,
you know what? And I'm also thinking of that one unaired episode of Wrestling Society X from 2007, and then the XPW TV show.
If you're talking about the gimmick with the barbed wire ropes and the explosions and stuff, you are correct. Like, I think XPW or CZW were probably the last ones to do something like that. But I don't know. Like, it sucks because these guys worked their asses off. They beat the hell out of each other. Took some hellacious bumps. I mean, that Death Rider off the apron onto the board on the outside was just hellacious. And it was brutal, man. Both these guys were busted open. My girlfriend, who doesn't know a lot about wrestling, is like, that's fake blood, right? I was like, no.
Yeah.
I explained to her. She's like, I don't want to watch this. And like, I mean, it was brutal, dude. But it just ended like a fucking popcorn fart, man. It was so horrible.
Yeah.
And that's all anybody's gonna remember. Like, this is WCW levels of bad,
Yeah, it was. Let's just say, like, I think I quoted you guys in the DMs. I told them that this is the worst booking since WCW Greed. Seriously.
Okay, remind me of that, dude. So I don't remember. That was the last pay-per-view for WCW, right? Like, what?
Oh yeah.
I mean, by that point, WCW was shit anyway. So is that the comparison, or what are you actually getting at? Because I'm not remembering.
I don't know. It's just that last match was just, I don't know. It's whoever. I'm like, let's just say whoever was their pyro guy, they should just fire him. Seriously. I'm just saying, whoever was their pyro guy, they should just
Another
fire.
thing I didn't like about the structure of the finish, the Good Brothers came out, and that just went on way too long. And they're beating him and beating him and beating him, and finally the one-winged angel through the chair. I just felt like that whole sequence just lasted way too long, and it kind of took something out of the match. I don't know. Like
I was expecting somebody to run down and help him. Lance Archer, somebody, anybody.
I thought Eddie Kingston should have come down earlier. To be honest with you, he should have come out a little bit earlier and gotten involved in a little bit of that mix, so it would have had a reason. He got beaten up a little bit, but not as bad as Mox. So it's like, okay, I'm kind of beaten up. It would make a little bit more sense. Like, I'm a little beaten up. I know I got to get you out of here, but we ain't gonna make it. So I'm just gonna lay on top of you. That would have been the emotion part you wanted behind it.
Yeah.
But then the pyro had to work too for that to happen. But
You know what's next? Seriously? You know what's next? And I have a feeling a scaffold match. That's what's going to be next.
The Road Warriors and the Midnight Express, or what? Like,
hey, I wonder how badly will they fuck up that one. Seriously.
Tony Khan is a huge ECW, FMW fan with a lot of the shit that he does, but maybe they should take a bit of a break from stuff like this for a minute, and just get down to the basics.
Yeah.
Wow, where are they going with this story? Because I mean, you had a build up. There's a reason you do this. This is this. You would think this is the blow off between him and Mox. You would think, because it's that big a deal. That usually in other circles, that's a cage match, or that's Hell in a Cell, kind of thing. So where do you go from here?
wonder if they're building a tag now with Moxley and Kingston down the road, or maybe those two go after the Impact tag team titles now because the Good Brothers are involved in this angle. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like Mox is a bit because I think Renee Young is ready to pop here and so he's probably going to be off TV for a few months, and I think this was meant to get him off of TV for a few months, but Jesus, like he was supposed to be exploded and disappeared, not this. You know what I mean?
And guess so, but I mean, he was pretty beat up. I mean, even in the thing where he went and Dan brought up the little IG clip that where he was like, man, he doesn't know how to build an exploding ring worth of shit. He was either still selling it when he was trying to get up, or he was legitimately like, dude, I hurt. Sure. One of the two, because like at that point he didn't need to be selling anymore, like at all. He could have been like, okay, well this didn't go. Did
you listen to the part where he says, "I seen more explosion from a show on MTV," and they just bleeped out the show?
On the IG clip he says it off of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Well, with Mox off TV, maybe Eddie Kingston now chases the title with Kenny Omega. Like maybe that's the next program with Kenny Omega. I mean, ultimately, I think Hangman Page is going to be the one to take the belt off Kenny. I don't know when that's going to be, but I think they're building for that down the road. But we can get into all that shit too as we go on. But unfortunate, a pretty damn good match that ended so terribly, and that's all anyone's going to remember.
That ending sucked.
Hey, what do you? Okay, so I mean, I get the barbed wire. That hurts. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it probably wasn't gimmicked barbed wire because there was just far too much blood for it to be gimmicked barbed wire. And they looked at some points legitimately like this shit hurts. Like I'll give them that one. The explosions, I'm not a fan of explosions.
Cheesy.
Because they look fake. Because it's very obvious they do it so it goes out, and it's not on you. Even you talked about the drop onto the wheel of death or whatever they call it, third level of hell or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Onto that, and it was super obvious that the explosion was underneath them and just kind of went out and away from them. They were nowhere near it.
I saw the first one. I thought corny.
Yeah, that's corny. That's for show. I mean that's for gimmick. Definitely the explosions. There's no way there's going to be. Well, there's always an inherent danger because you're working with an explosive. Ask James Hetfield, right? But
and the question remains too. I'm like, would they be able to pull this off in front of a live audience?
There was a live audience there.
No, but
people.
But that live audience in ringside, I'm like, that's probably most of the AEW staff.
It's AEW staff that's at ringside.
They know how to, let everybody back. If you put real fans in there, I don't think they'll be, especially in ringside. I don't think they will do any of that deathmatch stuff.
Brian Alvarez brought this up. Let me know what you guys think. He said it would have been far better if they would have turned the lights out and then had those explosions go off because nobody could really see, like.
That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect.
Of the explosions, right? Like it's dark, it's almost like fireworks going off in the night. You know what I mean? So I think maybe the aesthetics would have been far more pleasing.
It would have sucked just a little less.
Just a little less, right?
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I think everybody wants to talk about the end, and you can only see how good the match was. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to say about that one, but there was some other stuff to be talked about on this pay-per-view. Any last thoughts on this one before we kind of move on?
No, they worked their asses off. I thought one really clever spot was that one winged angel and Mox to break the pin kicks the rope and it explodes. So Kenny Omega gets an explosion in his face. I thought that was a cool spot.
Yeah, that was.
I thought their lights out match was way better though, if I'm being honest, at Full Gear a couple years ago.
Yeah, man, that Inferno match between Taker and Kane was a lot better than this crap.
What did Dave Meltzer do? Mike, would you happen to remember what Dave Meltzer rated that match? Because he rated it pretty high, didn't he?
Which one?
The lights out match?
The lights out match? Yeah. I think he did. I don't recall though. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Dave
I
Meltzer is a very big apologist though for AEW. I mean,
Yeah, he
even
is.
I
Oh,
listened
yeah.
to their review of this show too, and it seems like he was kind of trying to apologize for them quite a bit. And
Mm.
I thought this show was one of the weaker shows that they've put on in all their pay-per-views. Now they had a lot of bright spots, which we'll get to, but there was some shit that's like been memed 1,000 times over, which we'll get to all of that too as we go. But a lot more ups and downs of this show than typically
Oh, yeah.
AEW show
Big
is.
time. Big time.
So let's go and talk about the other thing that was probably the biggest thing was the Hall of Famer level or quality star to join.
Wah, wah.
So, and I feel bad that you're saying that because I like
I know.
Christian.
Me too.
I like Christian, and you know he can work, and you know he's worth so much more than anything WWE has ever given him. He's worth so much more than that. But
Yeah.
it was like it was sold to be bigger than it was, and then you got Kurt Angle who came in and basically teased that it was him. So everybody thought, oh my God, like I heard Kurt Angle, of course, he did that, and I've heard people like, oh, Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar's never leaving WWE.
or even better, John Cena.
Yeah, right. And it was like, yeah, seriously.
Oh,
I
you
was
didn't see
like,
the picture that said Vince McMahon is all elite?
I said that. Yeah.
That's great.
I thought that was fun.
I mean,
Tommy
of course,
Dreamer posted that.
The
That was Tommy
standard
Dreamer.
CM Punk rumor.
Yeah, the standard CM
Oh, yeah,
Punk
like
rumor.
always,
Yeah,
you know.
like always.
And it was Chris. Did he even wrestle? Cause I missed that part. I didn't see that part of the pay per view.
Christian?
Yeah. Did he? They just introduced him, right?
He didn't do
Yeah,
anything. He
signed
came
the
out. He had the clipboard, signed it, showed off his shirt, which I'm
And
sure
by
is
the
going
way,
to
he
be at
released
least number 3 on Pro
released
Wrestling Tees, and moved on.
Yeah, outwork everyone. That was the team.
I like the shirt.
That's all. Yeah.
But yeah, and then, you know what else I thought was kind of interesting? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that was his TNA theme song he came out to.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wonder.
was it?
Yeah, I did
Once
notice
the
that.
Big Show was like, I'll tell you right now, this guy can outwork everybody. I knew it was Christian because every like pro wrestler behind the scenes always says Christian's like the best worker they've been in the ring with.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Overall, he's.
And he was one of the names thrown around.
Yeah.
He was totally one of the names thrown around. Just everybody thought because he was in the Royal Rumble, everybody thought, oh, he signed with WWE because he was in the Royal Rumble.
That's what I thought.
He was in the Final Four at the Royal Rumble. Like he made it down to the last 4, so everybody thought this guy's a lock. But they never agreed on terms. That they couldn't agree to anything, so he never had a contract. So that's how it happened. That's how it happened. I heard Tony Khan speak about it today, or he tweeted about it, or interviewed, or something. But he was like, yeah, I didn't know he wasn't under contract. And then a few weeks ago, it came up that like, no, he never actually signed a contract because they couldn't agree to terms. And so it was like, oh shit, got Christian. Christian is I thought Hall of Fame worthy. That's interesting. That's an interesting way to word that because I mean, Edge is already in the Hall of Fame. Christian was retired for a long time, dude. Christian should be in the Hall of Fame. As much as he's done, he should already be in the Hall of Fame, but he just doesn't get the recognition that Edge does.
I mean, if fucking Coco Beware's in the Hall of Fame, like Christian should definitely be in. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the guy is a good worker. Now, some of the criticism that AEW is starting to receive is they're signing a lot of old WWE guys.
Yeah.
Christian can still add some stuff. Sting, which we'll talk about his role.
That's the next transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with Christian, Hall of Fame. I'm like, he should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Yeah, he should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Like,
it should have been Edge 1 year, Christian the next, is what it should have been. Because it's even if he's not the top tier, it should have been like, dude, Christian's in the Hall of Fame. Like, he belonged there. You didn't think he was going to wrestle again. He wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to. He took advantage of the same stuff that Edge did to get back into shape. Edge started doing it and said, dude, I'm healing. So Christian said, let me on this one. And that was all Bryan Danielson started all of that. Or Daniel Bryan, excuse me. His real name.
I just wanted one last concerto. One last concerto. That's all I wanted, seriously. Or a 5 second pose.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one last one.
Got you. So that's there. And then Mike went up and brought up Sting, so we'll go ahead and go there. That was entertaining, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty entertaining.
I thought this is one of the best things on the whole show. I thought it was really well done, man. I did the way it shot, the cinematography. It reminded me a lot of Lucha Underground. Sting, for what they showed, it looks like he can still kind of go. Darby Allin is insane. I mean, some of the bumps that guy took in this match, dude. The one part that comes to mind is where they're swinging him, kind of seesawing him, and they throw him through that pane of glass.
That was so cool. Like I
dude.
marked out for that. I was like, dude, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. Hobbs and Cage there just swinging him, and just all of a sudden, boom. I was like, dude, that's the coolest spot. No one's ever thought about that stuff. And I was like, and that's a bump because of the way it was. You're like, that's a bump that he can take, and it's for the most part pretty safe. Like I was like, dude, but it looks freaking cool. That was freaking
looks cool.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, and then Swolverine getting Darby in a vertical suplex and walking him up the stairs, holding him up the entire time. Holy shit, dude. And then
that jump from the second window.
Darby did.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He had to be 2 stories up.
Crazy.
How does he do this?
Again,
he's going to wrestle on Wednesday. I mean, I know they pre-taped it, but he's going to wrestle Wednesday now? Like, fuck, dude.
So I think you're right in saying that match showed that Sting can still go, but it also kind of protected Sting at the same time. It did, which was cool. Like he can take bumps when he needs to, but he doesn't need to take these excessive crazy ones. So
the bombs.
Yeah, the criticism I have of that match, and it's very minor, is when they hit each other with anything else, you could tell it was gimmicked when they hit him. Like when Ricky Starks, I can't remember if he threw something at the back of Sting's leg, or if he kicked him, but you could tell it wasn't like a full swing. You're like, okay, here's a legend, probably a little bit fragile than you are at a 20-something-year-old kid.
You don't want to hurt the man.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
And you looked at it and you're like, okay, Sting sold it well, the timing was good, but you could tell the strike was like it wasn't there. And then Sting was doing it too. He was giving it back too. He hit Brian Cage with the shovel, and it was like, okay, he hit him in a spot, and it's like, okay, that's a safe spot. Not that I wanted him to hit him with a shovel, but you could tell they were being safe with each other. Yeah.
But my question here is that where does Sting go from here? Because if he can't wrestle in the ring, are they going to keep wrestling? Are going to keep challenging him in cinematic matches from now on, or what?
Well, but he did wrestle in the ring. I mean, you saw him take that big power bomb from Cage. And
which scared the shit out of me, dude.
And it did, but if you actually look at Cage, dude, Cage was pretty good at protecting him.
Yeah.
Like he dropped him.
Sting's 62 years old, though, dude.
Him pretty flat. Oh. Yeah.
62-year-old shouldn't be doing that shit.
Yeah, man. But,
he felt it the next day,
Tony
bro.
Khan, Sting said that Tony Khan had signed him just to do these kind of cinematic matches. So I think the smart play with Sting, to answer Victor's question, is use him sparingly. I would not have him on TV every week from now on. I'd let him disappear for a minute. Maybe the next pay-per-view you bring him back a few weeks before to start building to whatever he's going to do next, whatever that may be.
So you're trying to tell me that to build them just like the Undertaker for like these special events?
Sure,
absolutely.
Why not?
That'll be good. That'll be good.
He can make appearances. He can make appearances and take a few, punches and stuff like that. But that big Cage bump, that was something special. And then, like I said, he took some bumps in that match and he got hit with some stuff. But you could tell that the guys really did their part. Everybody really did their part to protect each other as well as they could.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out whose truck was that. That was an old 90s F-150 Ford truck that Sting was driving.
Hey, might be his. He's not getting that big WWE money anymore.
You can see that stereo that had that.
You can see that Ford
F-150. You can see that stereo that says tape on there.
His Legends contract has been terminated.
Yeah. Well, the Legends contract doesn't pay like a performer contract, so we kind of know.
Right.
Nah, those Legends contracts suck, bro. From what I heard.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that, bro. Hey, you know what I thought was a cool bump, and it was one of Darby Allin's. It was when the match first started. Well, first of all, did you notice how Sting picked him up and threw him at Cage?
Yeah, dude. What a great way to start the
Picked
match.
up Darby Allin and threw him at Cage. That's how the
Oh,
match
yeah.
started.
God.
But it was Darby Allin when he was in there in the ring with, I think, Cage. He jumped up on the top rope, jumped on the wall, and like basically leaped off the wall. Almost like a coffin
shit.
drop
Like
type thing
Spider-Man
off the wall.
from
Yeah, dude, it was cool looking. It was like he actually
Spider-Man,
like he
yeah.
jumped up, he like springboarded himself off the wall that was there. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I heard that 90% of that direction of that match was Darby Allin. That 90%
Really?
of the direction of the match and the way that it looked and all that was all Darby Allin. Yeah,
And
that's
what's
a filmmaker.
and what's
Great
funny?
job.
Yeah, no. And what's funny about this is that a couple years ago they gave an interview where they told him, why you turn down a NXT WWE contract? Because to be honest, I don't want to be wrestling for the rest of my life. You know, I have plans to become a director. So he did a good job on this. I'm like, seriously,
Yeah.
he has a future in directing films. That's seriously, he has a bright future in directing films. The way how he did, if he did this 100%, that more power to him. He has
For sure.
real talent. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was I thought it was a good match. It was well done. It was entertaining. It was totally entertaining.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what do you guys want to move to next? We don't, just whatever your high spots are. We don't have to talk about everything. It's we gave up doing that a long time ago.
If we want to talk about one of the most memorable spots from this entire show, which has been memed 1,000 times over, I sent you guys, I think, the clip. It's in that tag team battle royal, which I thought was terrible for the most part, except for the end with Jungle Boy and Phoenix.
Give me more. Give me more of that match.
Yes.
Oh yes.
But
100%.
fucking Evil Uno taking that Hurricane Rana from Marco Stunt, and he runs full speed and hits his head into the that is just botchamania for years, bro. Dude, it's so bad.
Still better than Mongo, bro. Still better than anything by Mongo.
Mongo, yeah. But when you if you're trying to get your buddies into wrestling and they're over at the pad and they see that shit, they're gonna leave, dude. We're not watching this shit.
Hey, or even worse, watching the Dark Order just throw punches at somebody.
Oh,
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to hurt Dustin, bro. But no, okay, yeah, that's another one. And Mike said this a bunch, but that's another one you got to call an audible and just be like, dude, he missed. Like, just move on.
Yeah.
Like at worst, he could have just said, okay, he kind of slipped with it because I don't think Marco pulled it off exactly like he was supposed to, but
No.
Uno reacted late, so it really could have just been like, okay, I just take a tumble. It would have looked a lot better if he just decided, I'm just gonna take a tumble off the apron onto the floor. It would have looked a lot better. Yeah, instead let me run towards this thing. And at that point,
and you know what's funny though about that? It reminds me of like the old standard Ric Flair pose. You know, where he goes over the top rope.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, before he clothesline him. Then he goes from one corner to another corner, goes over the top, then whole dude grabs him, just throws him across the ring.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me how Ric Flair will run through the. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course, yeah.
But somebody said this was like Shawn Michaels selling for Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam 2006.
Are you sure, or was it The Rock over
anytime he gets a stunner? Yeah, anytime he gets a stunner. Yeah.
Do you remember that SummerSlam match with Hogan though?
Oh, yeah.
Shawn Michaels was just totally overselling
on purpose,
dude.
Yeah. Man, we say this, but in reality, if you were in the same spot, I mean, you would just be stuck. Like, dude, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do? So the only thing I give him credit for is that he thought, okay, I'm going to do this. Because it was in the split moment, but we say that, but like it's so easy. But in the spot, knowing like, dude, this was supposed to happen and it totally didn't. Like, what do I do? I'm gonna run this way. Okay, it's just like,
oh jeez.
Oh man,
the ladder match. We're gonna talk about that.
Sure, go
for
it.
The brass ring. Reach for the brass ring.
That big donut.
What do you think of the brass ring, dude? I mean, first of all, like, that's just another knock at WWE.
Yeah.
reach for the brass ring, you know.
Hey,
And they put
that rig
at the top.
That rig reminded me of Homer Simpson, one of those Treehouse of Horror episodes where the devil turns his head into a giant donut.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was saying like a Sonic the Hedgehog ring, and then
it's true.
But the mystery guy is all ego Ethan Page from TNA or Impact, I guess.
No one cared. That's what's sad is no one cared.
No, I mean only like hardcore wrestling fans know who that guy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but you know what? This match had a lot of crazy spots too. I mean, the one that comes to mind immediately is that Canadian Destroyer. Or Mexican Destroyer, I guess. It was Pentagon.
Yeah, on the, who was that? Was it Cody?
Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
That was crazy.
Hey, the sound when I think it was Ethan Page threw Scorpio Sky onto the ladder that Lance Archer was sandwiched in. Oh my God, the sound alone. I was like, ooh, the sound alone made my back hurt.
The one thing I hated about that spot, though, dude, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you saw this, but Lance Archer, it took so long to set that spot up, and Lance Archer's just sitting there for it felt like 20 minutes. just waiting for that dude to get thrown on him. But other than that, I mean, like I said, Scorpio Sky got thrown out to the outside. He goes crashing through a ladder bridge. A lot of brutal bumps in this match. Sloppy at times, like especially that Cody cutter on Pentagon. Even Jim Ross was like, "Well, that's the ugliest Cody cutter you're ever gonna see."
Yeah.
But it was a fun match, and I think the right guy won the match.
He's talented. He's been off of TV for a while, right? Anyway, I don't know about Dark. Like I can't speak for Dark, but he hasn't been a Dynamite in a while.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see him get the push, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him take the strap off Darby, and they use the injuries as the reason why Darby lost the match. But I don't know. We'll see how that plays out on Wednesday. But as far as all those guys go, I thought the right guy won the match.
Yeah, as far as all those guys, you need to give Cody a break because everybody knows he's the executive vice president. This guy can't challenge for the for the world title, so he needs a break. Well, he's kind of the face of the company right now.
Well, what if he turns heel and goes back at his that'd be like the perfect way to turn heel on.
Well, he's having a baby, bro. He's not going to turn heel right now, but yeah,
you don't know. Down the line. Well, we don't know.
Hey, speaking of which, let's talk Cody for a minute. Did you guys watch the Shaq thing?
I saw some clips from it. Yeah.
I didn't get to see it.
Did you watch that, Vic?
I saw the power bomb and I saw the bump for the table.
Yeah. Okay. Vic, what did you think? How do you think Shaq did?
You know what? He sold it pretty well. I gotta admit though, he sold it pretty well. I was very surprised he was able to take that bump.
It was very limited what Shaq did. If we're comparing Shaq to Pat McAfee wins hands down. What Pat McAfee did. But I mean, for being as big, and I'm sure kind of difficult because of his size. I mean, he did some stuff that was like, all right, yeah, that's believable. That's totally believable that a guy that big would be able to do that to a professional wrestler. Like it wasn't anything crazy.
If you remember the aftermath when he went to the ambulance and then Tony Schiavone opened the ambulance door, he's like, "Oh, where is he at?" And the funny part about that, somebody recorded something on TikTok. They recorded Shaq going on escaping from the ambulance in another door.
Oh, really?
In the ambulance. Yeah, which is pretty funny because I was like, why does it make it seem like okay, well something must have happened there. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't understand what they were doing with that. Like, he's not here. I don't know what happened. Like, dude, let's not get WWE here.
Yeah.
This isn't that mean.
But you know what? But this is the thing though. When you're in a live audience, what I would have done, I would have just driven that thing maybe around the stadium. Okay, Shaq, get out. Boom. Come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just especially when it's live audience.
Hold on though. Okay, so we didn't see them put him on a gurney or anything, and yeah, he sold the table pretty well. And yeah, you're not used to that, so you went through 2 tables. Okay, you're gonna sell the fact that like, oh man, that hurt. So he was out. I mean, he was knocked out from the table, but conveniently, when they load him in the ambulance, conveniently he pulls his legs up so they can close the door.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? Because he's so damn tall that conveniently, like, he moved his feet in so they could close the door. I caught that part. I was like, man, that's kind of sloppy right there. But
big
okay.
time.
Anything else in the ladder match? I'm trying to think what else we saw. Yeah, I mean, it was good. Yeah, I thought it was okay. It wasn't, anything.
Well, I'm like, okay, here's another one. You think Jake Roberts should have gotten involved in this thing? Seriously, I really don't want to see an old man dying. I just don't want to see the old man.
He's doing DDP yoga, man. He can take some bump.
I read somewhere that he wants to get involved a little more because he thinks he can.
Yeah, just I don't know. Personally, I just think you just sit back, bro. Seriously.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of old men, because we're talking about this, Tully Blanchard. Did you see that piece?
Oh God. Tully.
I missed all that part of
slingshot suplexes, dude.
Man, he still has it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man. Tully still has it.
Hey, are we
the
seeing?
Fact is,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna change it.
Did you actually saw when he came out with the 10 pounds of silver? That NWA US heavyweight belt?
No.
It's been ages.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
What?
Oh, what I was gonna say is, are we seeing? Because they brought JJ in. Are we seeing a new version of the Horsemen? Is that what we're doing here?
I think they're building to that.
I've heard rumors about that. Like they're trying to.
Does WWE own the rights to the Four Horsemen or no?
I don't think so.
I don't. If they used it, and it was
I think so. Conrad Thompson owns the rights to the Horseman name.
Oh no shit.
I think so.
How about that?
Yeah, Conrad Thompson. I heard that he owns the rights to the Horseman name.
Well, they're alluding to something because there was no reason Arn had to come out. There was no reason Arn had to come out because he's not involved in that storyline, but he threw the 4. If you've read and kept up with news, you've read that they don't even talk to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Right now, like they're not talking. So you got FTR, who we know are full on, like those guys would be Horsemen. Those guys are modern day Horsemen.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And then also, I don't know if you heard the rumors, but there's also the rumors about them going after the Impact titles or even the NWA tag titles.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting to. Well, Sean Spears, first of all, throw him in the mix. That would be good for Sean Spears. That would be good for Sean Spears because he's the bigger guy out of all of them. He's the bigger guy. He can work. That just might be what he needs. So I could see that. I could see him fitting in, playing that Barry Windham kind of role. So I could see that. And then there's rumors of Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis coming in,
cool. That would be good.
And being the
that would be
one.
Cool.
That guy's a star, dude.
Oh yeah.
So him being the main one, especially now that we know NWA has a working relationship with AEW, Nick Aldis coming in and being that, cause that's the Ric Flair. That's the Ric Flair, the guy with the suits, and he obviously has the 10 pounds of gold. That's
with Sweet Charlotte.
Yeah.
Sweet Charlotte, 10 pounds of gold.
But that would be something, and I don't think he would be opposed to it because he'd be like, I want to wrestle, and if you're going to get me here wrestling, those are the guys, FTR and Sean Spears, who we know can go. Sounds pretty good. That would be pretty interesting if they were to do that and put that together. And then now that with their relationship, they move everywhere. When NWA starts back up again, because that's the rumor that they're starting stuff again. In fact, they're doing tapings sometime this month. And then into Impact, you move all those guys, and they're just like the old territory days, man. That's something that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and right now, speaking about the territories, right now with Texas's mandate of, what's it called, eliminating the mask. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah, of course, everybody. Yeah.
So I'm like, I think Texas is gonna be the hotbed for professional wrestling once again. So especially when it comes to the independent team.
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. So I'm you know what, FTR, they're good. I'm not like, oh my god, FTR, but they're good. They put on good matches. If you put them with those other guys and that's a faction, I'd be into it. I'd be into it as a faction rather than just those two guys alone. I think that would be pretty cool. especially if they have somebody like a Nick Aldis who's very well spoken too.
Yeah.
Then I think it would be pretty cool.
Definitely.
So I told you guys I ended up watching I didn't watch the whole thing. The women's match. Man, I'm a fan of Hikaru Shida, like for real. And those women beat the shit out of each other. They were beating the shit out of each other. I'm not vested at all in her opponent. I just wasn't from that perspective. I didn't care about it from them, but they beat the crap out of each other, and I'm a Shida fan, like straight up. And she's easy on the eyes, so that helps. But she can work.
Definitely.
But
good match, just it lacked heat because, like you said, nobody really had an attachment to her opponent.
I don't even know her name, dude. That's how bad it is.
Exactly.
It was good, but that's no fault of her own. That's because they decided to let's do this Japan thing and this and bring it in here and mix it in.
Yeah.
We've had time over the last year really for Shida to build herself into something. I'm gonna be, and this sucks, but this is the way that it is. She speaks English, and even if it is kind of rough, she speaks English, so she gets her points across there. That just kind of says something to what the product you're trying to to sell.
Her opponent is Ryu Musanami.
Yeah, who's good. I mean, and I'm not kidding, man. They beat the crap out of each other. Look, these chicks are these ladies are hitting harder than some of the men.
Yeah,
like honestly, they were kicking
strong style,
ass.
baby.
Yeah,
pretty strong style, definitely.
Yeah, speaking of hitting hard, that tag match with Miru and Kip Sabian.
Oh Lord!
I mean, this is the first time that we actually kind of really saw Miru like unhinged. It starts, he throws Chuck Taylor through that window in the back, beats the shit out of. I mean, he pretty much handled this match on his own. Didn't care one bit about Penelope Ford getting hit on the apron, and then just dominated. So it looks like they're starting to break that team up, and Miru is going to go on his own and hopefully get out of this rough start that he's had with this fucking gamer gimmick or whatever he's doing.
Oh God, yeah.
He's better than this. Not saying he needs to be world title status.
He's one of those guys that I will put him in the title chase. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like the title chase. Not to give him the title specifically.
Yeah. A challenger though.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
He should be I can't think of the word, but a credible challenger. He should be a credible challenger. You know what I mean? He doesn't necessarily need to be the champ, but he should be like he's a threat. He should be booked that way, but he hasn't yet. I don't know what they're doing with him. It's anything's better than the wedding angle.
Yeah. You know what? He should. I'll tell you this. He should have been the one in the brass ring match. Seriously, he should have been. He should be the one that should be challenging for the TNT Championship.
Yeah.
The way I see it.
Yeah, maybe if Scorpio Sky doesn't win, then that's the next challenge for Darby Allin. I mean, that would be a good one too.
That would be good.
But where are they going with Hangman Page with the Dark Order shit? I mean, he beat Matt Hardy. Nobody cares about that match, but where are they going with this?
I don't know. I mean, I think at one point they were thinking, he might end up, I don't know, maybe challenging Brody Lee for that to lead the faction kind of thing. But then, unfortunately Brody passed, and it just kind of like that threw the whole Dark Order into we don't know what to do with him because you can't really boo him.
Yeah.
You can't really boo him, especially with all the love people had for Brody. Like, you can't really boo the Dark Order. So they're face now. That's not even a thing. They're face. So what's the chick that on the buy-in that the other Japanese lady is now apparently part of the Dark Order?
Makito.
Really?
Yeah. That happened on being the Elite today.
Yeah.
I guess apparently that's what they're teasing, and that's what they're going with, that she's a part of the Dark Order. Because Anna Jay's not there because Anna Jay's injured.
Yeah.
So she's not there. But like, what's up with my girl Ty Conti? Like, why is she not committed? She hangs out with them all the time, and they come out to her. Like, why is she not in yet? I don't know what they're doing with that either. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, and then probably the last thing that we didn't touch on is the tag title match, which I don't know, man. Like, the way I see this, the Jericho and MJF beat the shit out of Papa Buck and busted him open, and then they just kind of have a regular wrestling match for the tag titles. Like, I feel like there should have been way more heat in that match, and almost like the finish could have just been the Bucks becoming unhinged and beating the shit out of these guys with chairs or something. I don't know. I felt like it could have been better, but I know where they're going with the Inner Circle. It's pretty obvious that MJF's going to turn on Jericho.
What surprised me is that Sammy Guevara wasn't involved. I would have had Sammy Guevara involved in.
Didn't he quit? Didn't he quit the Inner Circle?
Yeah, he quit, but I'm just saying I would have had him involved for Sammy Guevara to screw Jericho and MJF during the title match.
I don't know if Sammy Guevara is in the doghouse with AEW right now because they tried to send him to Impact and they had some creative for him and he didn't agree with it, and I don't know if it's causing issues or what, but
it was kind of dumb. I don't remember what it was now, but like I know you heard that and you think, man, this kid's just nothing but cocky. But then I heard what the idea was, and it's like, wait a minute, dude, you just came off this angle over here, and if there's supposed to be some continuity between the two, if I just came off of this and you want me to do this, that it doesn't make sense. And there's nothing wrong with that in doing that, but it came off bad. But no, like when I heard what it was, and I don't remember. I wish I did. The logical step was like, oh, dude, he's kind of right. Like that would not be the logical step.
I think he was supposed to wasn't he supposed to win the X? I guess he wanted to win the X Division title.
Yes.
With them to AEW or something like that.
That was something with it, and it made, like with whatever idea he had, like that I remember hearing, it made sense. And it was like, yeah, if you play that off on Dynamite and then you come over here to Impact and do this, and then go back to Dynamite with that, like that actually makes sense. But they didn't want to do that. So it was like, oh, okay. So I don't completely blame him. We know he's made mistakes before. He's going to be fine in the long run.
Yeah, this ain't the first mistake he's made.
No.
Or whatever. So, no, he's made plenty of mistakes. I don't know how many times you can give a guy a chance like that. And not only that, I think what really I keep forgetting. The match itself, I'm like, Jesus, as much as I love the Young Bucks, good tag team, it just seems their matches are just like they're beginning to become kind of stale now.
Spot.
Dude, I'm like,
false finish.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this was cool 3-4 years ago. We need something better here. Come on, man, seriously. I don't know. What do you guys think? Seriously, am I wrong? Am I seeing this wrong?
Well, they're enjoyable, but it is every big match they have like that. It's nothing but spot. And I saw a clip of this online somewhere, but the sequence that Nick did when he kicked somebody in the head, and then he jumped in the ring to do something, and then he flipped to the outside. Like I've seen that spot before in that exact sequence. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing if you have a move like you just brought up Ric Flair a little while ago. Ric Flair gets tossed in the corner and flips over.
Yeah.
That's one move. Nick Jackson has an entire sequence of stuff he does that I've seen in several different pay-per-views now. It's like, this move, then it's this, then it's that. I'm like, I watched that before. I thought that when I saw it. I was like, I've seen this. This is the same thing. So, yeah, I understand what you mean. It's still entertaining. But
no, it's entertaining.
I've seen this, man. It's never something a little bit new.
Yeah, it just comes to the point that it gets old. Just try to do something new, I don't know. I'm just a mark. What do I know?
For real, man. For real.
Definitely.
I'm trying to look for the lineup of the pay-per-view and see if there's anything that I wanted to talk about that we missed.
We're the pre-show tag team between Dr. Britt Baker, Maki Ito versus Thunder Rosa and Riho.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch the pre-show. It wouldn't load on the thing that was. Was it a good
pretty
match?
Good actually.
Good.
It was pretty good actually. It was for some reason I don't know. Like I said, the women's division it's getting there. It's not as good as the other division, but it's getting there. I'm like, the fact that they bring in these Japanese wrestlers, it's kind of helping the balance in a way there. I'm guessing some of these Japanese wrestlers are teaching the rest of the women's division, how to work, I want to say. But I was, you know what? I actually love Maki Ito. Seriously, she's a firecracker. I like her.
Well, I'm
Just
gonna watch that. I do like to watch the buy-in. I like Britt Baker's entertaining. She's not the best wrestler, but she's entertaining.
yeah.
Thunder Rosa kills it.
Oh yeah.
Like she's good. So and
Oh yeah.
Riho, the first champ.
Maki
So.
Ito, from what I understand, is not the best worker either, but she's got a very good character and personality.
Charismatic.
Yeah, that's what kind of gets her over. This is what Meltzer was saying. I don't know. I've never seen her.
Uh-huh.
We will find out because apparently she's a part of the Dark Order now, like I was telling you.
Yeah,
So,
she's actually I guess she was like a former pop idol or something like that in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And, yeah, and she quit. I guess she quit music. I guess she quit and decided to go into wrestling. So yeah, she kind of reminds me of Chung Li from Street Fighter in a way. Yeah, that's
Okay, Vic.
sorry. Hey man, I can't help
messing.
it, man. Japanese girls are cute, man. Seriously.
What's the name of that rapper that recently said they wanted to become a WWE star?
Bow Wow.
Was it Bow Wow? Oh man,
Yeah.
Bow Wow. Yeah. So I thought you were going to equate Maka Ito or whatever to Bow Wow. What's up with Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny's just there to get them ratings and the Hispanic audience.
Really, I saw that. I'm all, huh? Okay.
He's there to get Damian Priest over, which is working. Well, Damian Priest he's good. Like he's actually entertaining to watch. But he's there to get him over and make that Hispanic star because they still want the Hispanic star, man. They want a Hispanic star in WWE. They haven't had one since Ray, but Ray's kind of beat up, man. To be honest with you, Ray's kind of beat up. He's getting to the point like his career is winding down. They thought it was going to be Andrade. It could be Andrade, but Andrade doesn't speak English. Like not he does. It's getting there. It's getting there. But Damian Priest, being that Puerto Rican man, he speaks fluent English and fluent Spanish. So he's their hero right now.
They have Andrade on the shelf right now, huh? He hasn't appeared on WWE TV at all.
Yeah, I think so. The last time I heard him speak any English, it was getting much better than when he was with Zelina Vega. Like it's getting better.
Man,
and Charlotte understands him, so.
Yeah, well, of course, man. From what I've been hearing,
the language of love. The language of love.
Yeah, there you go, man. Yeah, imagine they have kids together, man. Fucking what? That's like 4 generations. That's 4 generations of wrestling blood right there.
Right.
Jesus. Yeah, big time.
So we touched everything on the pay-per-view, the points that we wanted to. We said we wanted to keep it, roughly about an hour or so, and we're there. We did it. Close. Yeah. So we made it. Trying to just I think all of us just really wanted to be like, man, talk to me about that ending to the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, again, looking at probably turning it into the storyline now because you don't really have a choice. I mean, they're gonna play it off some way. It's like, oh, that was meant to happen. We suckered you into this whole thing, to do that. Made you look like a fool.
I'll share this with you guys. I saw this on a Squared Circle on Reddit. Hold on, I sent it to one of my buddies. So someone said Eddie Kingston should come out on Dynamite and say he laid there for so long because he was humiliated. He betrayed his tough guy persona to save someone he shouldn't even care about. Someone who, it turned out, didn't need saving because the bombs couldn't hurt a flea. He wasn't embarrassed that the bomb was a dud. He was embarrassed that he revealed his true self. That's how you get out of it, dude.
Hey, you either do that, bro, or you buy all into the gimmick. And you come out with an eye patch and your head wrapped in gauze.
There you go.
You're like, I got an eye patch on and just my head wrapped in gauze and just like I'm all limbed up, coming out with a brace on your shoulders, just like, man, what I just went through. That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was
horrible.
So bad.
I'll give you a positive light on this pay-per-view. This is actually the pay-per-view that first time actually me and my dad actually enjoyed. Oddly enough, my dad is not a WWE fan.
No, really?
He was always the old school AAA Impresa, the Mexican wrestling style. But when we started watching AEW, he was just impressed. His favorite wrestler is Hangman Page.
There you go.
Like, yeah. We need more cowboy gimmicks in wrestling. That's true.
Cowboy gimmicks and gimmick stats when he comes out, because those are always the ones to watch. Like what it says about him, like on the on the thing above his record and stuff. Those are the best.
¿Cómo se dice yeehaw?
Yeah, that was funny. Como se dice yeehaw when he wrestled Penta in Phoenix. That was funny.
Definitely.
We all know he's the one that's going to be. It's a slow build for that guy. It's whatever they got planned for him. It's a completely slow build because we all know they plan to make him the face of the company long term.
Oh yeah.
Because he's young, and we've known that since day one. But I'm kind of glad they're doing it slow and not giving him stuff that he hasn't. Not that he hasn't earned it, but like, it's gonna mean something more. Yeah, it's the chase to it. It's the chase to it. And I think with him, the live audience is kind of essential to him doing that. So it's like you give him stuff that he can do that's entertaining for now. Give him the wins. Give him a title here and there. That's not the world title, but the world title chase begins when you get fans, a packed house full of fans. Is when you start making that chase.
Can you imagine Hangman Page winning the 10 pounds of gold? The Mid-Atlantic shall rise again. He's a Virginia guy.
Yeah, he is.
Think about it,
Virginia Tech, no? Even.
Yeah.
He did all that. So there's lots to go from here. It's more entertaining because there is some fans in the building. That's definitely, that translates pretty well on the TV.
Did you guys hear anything on Billy Corgan's NWA? I guess they're signing an exclusive deal with Fight.
Oh, is that what it is with Fight? I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, they took all of their stuff out of YouTube, so now you have to, I think, buy Fight to get like NWA power.
Well, that ain't gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, well, no, and I did hear, New Japan is looking at Access, renewing that deal with Access, because Access is kind of like, why did we let this go? Like they're kind of looking back and saying we made a mistake in doing this. So I'm waiting for that one. I'm waiting for New Japan to come back on.
I also heard Jay White's a free agent, and WWE is after him. So
might be a bad move. Might be a bad move. So that real quick. Last thing I want to bring up, and then we'll let it out of here. So the Peacock deal. What do you guys know about the Peacock deal?
That Peacock deal sucks.
Well, it's cheaper, right?
Right now it is. Right now it is.
4 months for $10 or some crazy shit like that, just to kind of get you in, and then it's like $5.99 a month or something like that.
So I thought it was $5 right now to get in because they don't have the whole library, and then so like the first few months is like $5, and then by SummerSlam, I think it's 10.
Oh, so they're upping it then.
I think is what I read today. That's why and I know we've been busy. A lot of us have been busy, but I think that's what I threw in the chat. Like, hey, am I reading this right? Is this really $5? Because for $5, I'll pick it up for a few months, and then I still have the network because I still watch the big shows, so I may still keep that, and then you get everything. Plus, I can watch Punky Brewster, I guess. We'll see what that shit's like. If it's any better. Yeah, something like. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I would want to watch on the WWE Network right now is the Broken Skull sessions. Those are really good, dude.
Yeah, I have to catch up, dude. But yeah, I like Austin as an interviewer. I'm actually bummed he's doing that instead of his actual podcast.
Me too.
But he's a good interviewer because he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He actually does his research.
I actually enjoyed his interview with Tony Khan a while back, and his podcast.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty good, actually.
Jericho still kills it as far as that stuff, but Steve Austin is very good. I do miss the fact that he doesn't have a podcast. And if you've never watched, and I haven't watched all of them, what's the show he has that airs after Raw?
Straight Up Stone Cold.
Straight Up Stone Cold, Straight Up Steve Austin, or whatever. It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. Like really? Check it out. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. And it's only like half an hour, so it's not even anything like not getting anything crazy. But it's actually not that bad. It's worth a watch if you like the guest that's on there.
Yeah, I actually saw the episode with Brett Favre. Him and Brett Favre spent the day together.
Oh, really? I actually watched the one with Luke Combs, and I don't have interest in Luke Combs, but I thought it was interesting. So I was like, not bad.
Yeah, they're out there fishing, trout fishing, and hunting. It's pretty funny.
They do whatever the guest wants to do for the day, and as they're doing it, Steve's just talking to him. He's interviewing him. That's what the show is.
Might have to check it out.
Yeah, so I mean, like, yeah, with Luke Combs, they went off-roading and stuff, and he went fishing with Brett Favre and stuff. So yeah, it's actually kind of cool. So it might be worth checking out. All right, gentlemen, anything else that anybody wants to bring up?
No.
Before we got a good time on this. You know, everybody works early, or most of us do. Some of us do.
Yeah,
so
some of us do.
We're in that time frame. Didn't keep it to anything crazy. So.
Well, hey, okay. Now before we go, okay, did you actually recorded this?
Oh. I thought you were gonna tell me you recorded something. Yeah, bro. I've been checking that every so often. Yeah, we're good.
I'm just letting you know because the last time we had 2 hours of footage that was so gold.
That sucks.
I've been there. Did not record it.
Man, that was the Tiger days of pandemic, bro. I know what you're talking about. Those were the Tiger King days of pandemic. That was that long ago. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we did though, Mike. We recorded an episode. It was gold. We were on fire as far as the jokes and all that kind of stuff. For whatever reason, it didn't record. Like on my end. Yeah. I was like, dude, I texted the guys. I'm like, didn't record, dude. He's like, what? That was like gold. We were on fire. All the jokes we were making and stuff. I think we had Ryan on too. I think Ryan was on that episode too. We were like, dude, we were on fire. And I was like, nothing. Got nothing.
Yeah. Trying to find that spark to this day. We just couldn't find it now. We're trying to.
Man, anyway, whatever, Vic. Hey, thanks for checking us out. You know where to find us, so we'll catch you later.
Kayfabe Culture is part of the Extraordinary Culture podcast universe. You can email us at exocast@yahoo.com. We're also on social media. You can find us on Instagram at exoculture. We're on Facebook at exocult. We're on Twitter at exocultcast. You can listen to Extraordinary Culture or Kayfabe Culture on PodOmatic, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify. You can YouTube Extraordinary Culture Podcast, or you can ask your smart home device to play the Extraordinary Culture Podcast.
No, don't do this. Enough is enough.